Hey, folks. Welcome to our first ever Finding Data Friends podcast. We are so glad to welcome Rosie as our guest today.
Woohoo!
Welcome, Rosie. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks very much, Jess. Ben, lovely to be here with you. I'm Rosie Djurovic. I'm business intelligence developer for a company called Maxica Consulting. I mostly work in Power Platform, so super happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on the show. I mean, the two of you have met before, right? Because what not everybody may know, I'm not even sure if this
Yeah,
is public information. Now it is.
Jess
Jess
was
was
very kindly
Rosie's
my
mentor.
mentor for New Stars of Data, which was a great experience, really, from start to finish and ongoing, I would say. Jess, amazing mentor, definitely prepared me well, and I feel has taught me so much in terms of preparing for other events. So I'm speaking at SQL Bits this year, and I definitely feel like I know what to do now in terms of preparing for that. So yeah, we've met before.
Yeah, I love that. You're a great mentee. You put so much effort into it. It made my job super easy, and it was
Oh.
awesome.
Yeah, there's always I mean, sometimes mentors and mentees just don't click, but it's also there's great and not so great mentors, but there's also great and not so great mentees. And from what I've heard,
Totally.
the two of you not only clicked, but having seen the session afterwards, you've done a lot of things right. So you're speaking at SQL Bits, Rosie. What are you speaking about this year?
Yeah, I'm doing two sessions there actually, so it's very exciting. I'm doing one technical session, so it's called Introduction to Dataverse, and it's a kind of high-level overview of Dataverse and Power Platform in general. It is really for everybody, so if you already know something about Dataverse, if you've never used Dataverse, then we're going to do big demo of how you can get started and how showcase how really easy it is for everyone to use. So we'll be fitting a lot into the demo. It's very exciting. And then my second session is non-technical session, and it's about my journey into data. So I am totally self-taught in everything I know in data and tech. And I want to share my experience of how you can teach yourself something new. And no matter what resource you have, if you have some goal you want to work towards, then you can do it without paying for a big boot camp or going to university or something like that is achievable for you.
Yeah, I love that. I'm really excited for obviously all of the technical talks at Bits, but I think the non-technical track is going to be super awesome this year. I'm looking forward to a lot of those sessions.
There's a lot of amazing content in there, and it is so great that they actually gave these topics the room that they deserve, because especially right now after the pandemic, many events seem to like put very hard emphasis on tech sessions, which kind of makes sense because it's tech conferences after all. But also, especially after 2 years of us not being around people, it might help us a bit to regain, depending on where you were standing before the pandemic, some people skills, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
Not trying to steal your session thunder, of course, but for someone who has no idea what Dataverse is, can you give us like the 2-minute session on that right now, and then we come to your I assume it's a 60-minute session. No, it's probably a 50-minute session. Completely. How long are
Yeah,
sessions?
it's 50 minutes, Ben. Yeah, I can give you a sneak peek into what you can see at SQL
Yes,
Bits.
please.
So Dataverse is a low-code, no-code database solution. It is part of Power Platform, but Dataverse is way more than a database. So Dataverse includes all of the additional layers that you need on a database, such as security, business logic, functionality for managing your analysis, everything like that is all included within Dataverse. So we're going to be doing a demo on how you can access all of this different functionality and how you can get set up using Dataverse from the perspective of a very low maturity organization. And we'll also talk a little bit about how more mature organizations can use Dataverse as well if they're already using something like Synapse Analytics, something like that. So it really is for everybody. And come along to the session and you'll see how easy it is to use.
Awesome. Good promoting. I like it.
So I would ask now when your session is, but then I know exactly. Basically, the second this episode goes public, they're going to change the schedule and that information.
100%.
So check out the schedule at sequelbits.com and go attend Rosie's session. I'm pretty sure you will not be disappointed. And this will be like from what it sounds like an intro level session into it. So basically pointing at people like me who have no idea what Dataverse is.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it really is. If you've got no idea, then we're going to start right from basics. So hopefully you'll have much more of an understanding of how you can get started after the session. We're going to do it from the perspective of an organization that has almost no database functionality at that time, and then how they can take that sort of first step into structuring their data.
Awesome. So you may have already answered this question, but one of our go-to topics on the podcast is to ask what your favorite data thing is.
Yeah, probably I have already covered it, so it won't come as a surprise to you to know that I am big into Power Platform, not just Dataverse. So I'm also really big into building apps. I love Power Automate. I do lots of work with Power BI as well, and I like integrating as much stuff as I can with Power Platform. So I also do some cloud computing and Azure, and wrapping it all up in Power Platform solutions. So that's what I spend all my time working on. That's my baby. So Power Platform is my thing.
Cool.
Power Platform is one of the things in data that I can probably say have done nothing on yet so far. I think I've built one super tiny app once just to basically get the basic grip, but it's always amazing how big our field really is and how little I know.
Yeah, totally. During the New Stars of Data, like mentoree process, I actually learned a ton about Power Platform and Dataverse because the same, I had done minimal. So it was a super cool learning experience for me too.
Oh, that's great to hear, Jess. I think as well at SQL Bits this year, there's quite a lot of sessions about Power Platform as well. So if you're interested to learn more, I think there's definitely a few other sessions about Power Platform going on there. I'm really excited to check them out.
Nice.
Maybe one day we will just build an app together, Jess. Who knows?
Oh, maybe
Definitely
an app that it's like to get our friends onto the podcast. We could have had an app instead of going across all of the comments and trying to find the people that wanted to be friends with us. Smart.
Nice.
I like the sound of that a lot.
We'll hire Rosie to help.
No, we will talk Rosie into actually building the app for us.
Well, yeah, don't tell her that.
Because if you say we're asking her to help, it still sounds like we're doing anything meaningful in that regard. Right. Who are we kidding? Nobody. If you're not building apps and if you're not doing anything in Power Platform, Rosie, what's your favorite non-tech thingy? Can be a hobby. It can be Lego, of course. I mean, by the way, there's only one right answer. It's Lego.
Ben, do not get enough time to build Lego. Although I do have 2 young children, so there is a lot of Lego in our house, often underneath my feet. So I experience Lego in that painful way. But I don't spend enough time building Lego as I might like. When I'm not with my family and doing things with the kids, my big thing is triathlons. So I'm super into fitness, running, cycling, swimming. So just looking for an event to sign up to now, actually, because I'm a bit demotivated over the winter. Need something to be working towards so that I don't keep getting to the end of the week and being like, damn, haven't gone out yet this week. Need something to push me to get out of the door.
So what kind of triathlons are we talking? Are we talking the like smaller distance ones, or are you going for the half Ironman monster events?
I'm not quite. I'm in between. So I do Olympic distance.
Okay, cool.
So I'm not quite a half Ironman distance purely for the time, just because it takes so much time out of your weekend to train for that. So even for doing Olympic distance, really at the weekend, I might be training kind of 5-6 hours over the weekend. And I try and fit that in whilst the kids are still in bed, and so it doesn't disrupt our family life so much. Definitely, I would like to do half Ironman, potentially Ironman when they're a little bit older and they don't need me around quite so much. But Olympic distance is plenty for now.
Speaking of things I have no idea about, how much is Olympic distance?
Olympic distance is 25-mile bike ride, 1-mile swim, and 6-mile run.
The swim has always been the problem for me. I quite fancied the idea of doing triathlons, and I like cycling, and I don't really like running, but I'm not bad at it. But the swim is where it all falls apart.
I was totally the same as you, Jess. Like last year when I did my first one, at the beginning of the year, I couldn't swim crawl. So I just decided I was going to have to learn the crawl. Just went to the pool like twice a week, practicing, like choking, almost drowning in the pool for like several months, embarrassing myself. Managed to do a couple of lessons with a coach, which was honestly so good. Definitely recommend it if you get the opportunity. It's not that difficult to learn the crawl. You just really have to commit yourself to being embarrassed in front of big groups of people in public swimming pools for a few months, and then once you get over that, then you're good. But I was the same as you. The swim was the most challenging part to tackle, definitely. And now I love the swimming. Absolutely love
Really?
it.
Okay. So you've come all the way around.
Yeah. Really love the swimming.
That's awesome.
Now. Not so much in the pool, but outdoors.
Yeah. Okay.
Lots of people say that once they got into swimming, it became their favorite part. But I'm Team Jess here. I used to run a lot. I haven't really run in like 2 years. I also got to get back to it. So I'm actually also looking for something to train towards, because this is getting slightly out of hand. But yeah, that whole swimming part. The other thing with the swimming part is that you need to go find a pool and something and just eat. Because I used to go just run over lunch break or something. So I leave the office, come back, take a quick shower, and I'm done. Versus driving to some kind of public pool or whatever. I mean, there's a river just down there, but I'm not pretty sure.
Problem solved.
Drowning might be the least of my problems. There's also like a sewage plant right next to it, so I'm not quite sure this is where I want to go swimming.
Not the best place to learn swimming, where you might be taking in a lot of water,
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, when you're experienced, then it's fine.
Yeah. Maybe that's not the best idea we've ever had.
I did not drown, but
yeah. Oh dear.
Exactly. Anything else people should need to know about you, Rosie, or else? How can people find you? Are you on social media? How can people get in touch with you?
Probably best place to get in touch with me is on LinkedIn. I also do use Twitter, not so much. I'm more of a sort of silent witness at Twitter. But yeah, I am on LinkedIn, more active with the community on there. So definitely please do connect to me. I'm always really interested to see what everybody is talking about, what you're interested in. Even if we don't share exact kind of technical interests, I'm still really interested to learn about what everybody else is learning about. So yeah, definitely connect with me on LinkedIn. Really keen to grow my network on there, and I'd love to hear from as many of you as possible.
Awesome.
That's almost a wrap, I would say. I got 1 or 2 or 3 more things I would like to say, depending on how many of them I remember. First of all, thank you so much, Rosie, for being here on our very first ever episode, and thank you so much, Jess, for doing this with me. I'm super psyched for the next 250 episodes, which gets me to the second thing I was going to say. For all of you that have already reached out that you want to be on the show, we started making a huge Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to get to all of you. But we were pretty overwhelmed by the number of people that reached out. So it might take a while until we reach out, and we're not going to reach out now just to tell you that we've got you scheduled for October, whatever. So, but you will hear from us. And if you have not reached out to us yet, either because you haven't even known about that podcast so far, or for whichever reason, either ping Jess or myself, and we will add you to that list gladly. Especially if you have not met us before in person, because we like making new and old friends. And with that, I think I mentioned all of the things that I wanted to mention. If not, there's going to be
Excellent
another
work.
episode for me to mention it. I mean, we're all professionals, right? Famous last words. And with that, thanks to both of you again. Thanks for watching that episode, and see you next time.
Thanks so much, guys.
Cheers, folks. Bye.
Cheers. Bye.